With 12 All-Star appearances, 1 World Series championship, and so many other accolades, Wade Boggs is a name synonymous with greatness. What he did is nothing short of astounding, but how he did is a baseball tale worth telling. This is the story of how Wade Boggs conquered the MLB, early life till pro debut. In the town famous for its Reuben sandwiches, Wade Boggs was born to Winfield Kennedy Boggs Jr. and Sue Nell Graham on June 15, 1958. Wade had an older brother, Wayne, and a sister, Ann. Both of the Wade's parents were military personnel. Winfield was a Marine during the Second World War, and Sue was a male plane pilot. The fact that Wade came from Army parents really shaped his attitude towards his passion, as we would see later in the video. His father was very supportive of his son's childhood passion, as he was one of the many coaches who tutored him when he was young. In high school, he was so good that he was batting .522 as a junior, which, as we could imagine, was more than enough to have him on the radar of scouts. If anyone doesn't find that impressive enough, it's also worth mentioning that Wade could swing a bat as well as he could kick a football. Heck, at a point in high school, he looked like he was going to the NFL and not the MLB. This is because he was all-state material and even got a scholarship offer from the University of South Carolina to play football. But his heart was set on baseball. Nevertheless, while Wade was an amazing batter in high school, he had a few shortcomings that needed correction. He struggled to hit balls out of the strike zone, and pitchers used this against him and hardly ever threw him strikes. His father then came to the rescue by getting him Ted Williams' The Science of Hitting. Taking the book's words to heart, Boggs understood that not every pitch had to be hit, especially those out of the strike zone. And before you know what's happening, Boggs was hitting every strike he forced pitchers to throw. Unfortunately for him, though, most scouts felt his talent just wasn't MLB material because his strongest attribute was just batting, and that was just about it. He wasn't a standout in other departments, and that was the issue. One scout even felt he was better off chasing a career in football. There was one who thought Wade Boggs was worth giving a chance, and that was George Digby, scout of the Boston Red Sox. He was convinced from what he had seen that Boston might have a star on their hands. In 1976, the Red Sox selected Wade Boggs in the 7th round of the amateur draft. Winfield Boggs asked his son to make a decision between college and going to the minor leagues. For a baseball romantic like Wade, that was a no-brainer. His minor league career started in New York playing for Elmira of Class A New York Penn League. Despite an underwhelming spell, the Red Sox moved him up to Winston-Salem of the Class A Carolina League. It was here that we would first see his signature trademark of getting walked more than being struck out. Nevertheless, Boggs was constantly getting bombarded with negative comments, as he had been quoted to say, "I was told in the minor leagues that I'll never play third in the big leagues, that I don't hit for power, so I'm not going to play in the big leagues. I'm not fast enough." I was told so many different things. The only thing I ever wanted to do was play professional baseball, and in the minors, I was getting paid to play, so I didn't get discouraged. Wade Boggs would go on to spend 1978 and 1979 in the Double-A Eastern League, but the pinnacle of his minor league days would come in 1981 at Pawtucket, the Triple-A International League, after arriving the year prior. Wade Boggs led the league with a .335 batting average. Sadly, this wasn't good enough for a call-up, so when Boggs went to winter ball, he hit an incredible .354, and there was no way the Red Sox could keep Boggs in the minors any longer, conquering the major league. Wade Boggs debuted in the majors in April 10, 1982. His rookie season would end with a batting average of .349 and a third-place finish in the American League Rookie of the Year voting behind Kent Hrbek and winner Cal Ripken Jr. The following season, Boggs went beast mode, leading the league in batting average, OBP, while recording multiple hit games. He also finished second in doubles and hits, bested by the same person who robbed him of the Rookie of the Year, Ripken. However, Boggs' season wouldn't end without individual silverware, as he won the Silver Slugger and the Bud Hillerick Award. The next season would see him take a bit of a dip, finishing third in batting average and failing to defend his batting title. 1985 was when he really hit his stride. Starting his 4-year reign on the American League's batting champion title, His batting average of .368 was the best in the league since Ted Williams in 1957 with .388. He never went more than 2 games without registering a hit in a season that saw him go on a 28-game hitting streak. It's no surprise he was voted the Red Sox Man of the Year. He did all this while making no playoff appearance, but that was about to change. In 1986, the Red Sox made their first playoff appearance in over 10 years, and to get there, Boggs had to register 107 runs and 207 hits, becoming the first Red Sox to get over 100 runs and 200-plus hits in a season. Getting to the World Series was one thing, but winning it was another. And sadly, the Mets would have the city of Boston in tears as they took the trophy in a 7-game series. 5 years into the league, on April 30th, 1987, Boggs reached 1,000 career hits, and whenever he was in Boston, his batting average was an incredible high of .411. 1992 was the last year we would see Boggs in a Red Sox jersey, as he would become a free agent only to be picked up by their bitter arch rivals, the New York Yankees. Boggs would have to wait 4 years to get his hands on the World Series. He had an embarrassing batting average of .158, but he made it count when it mattered. With 8 Silver Slugger awards, 12 All-Star appearances, and finally a World Series title, Boggs seemed satisfied because he spent just one more season with the Yankees before leaving for where it all began. When the Devil Rays entered the league in 1998, Boggs joined them just in time for their inaugural season. He was back in Tampa Bay, where he played during high school, back when baseball was starting to get serious for him. His spell with the Rays was written in the stars, as he would be the one to hit the franchise's first home run on opening day. He finished the season 78 hits shy of a 3,000 milestone. But in front of a home crowd of 38,215 fans, Boggs registered his 3,000th hit off Indians' Chris Haney with a homer. The sounds of fans cheering was deafening. He ran to home base and knelt to kiss the home plate, truly the stuff of a legend. At the end of the day, it was Boggs' hitting that made him the legend he is today. But what made him an exceptional hitter, really? Let's find out. Batting ability. If there's one thing to note about Boggs, it's his consistency. Sticking to his style of batting over the years, he earned him the nickname of the Mechanical Man. Every time he stepped on the plate, he positioned his feet so religiously in such a way that we would believe any other way was wrong. Boggs' batting had range quite alright, but he never really aimed for homers, as achieving that would mean him tweaking his style. As far as Boggs is concerned, that's a big no-no. Another thing that was so focal in his batting ability was his concentration levels. It's almost like that of a cat following a rolling ball of yarn. He never takes his eyes off the ball. Even other famous hitters took note of this. Former National League batting champion Harvey Keene even said this about Boggs. He's just waiting for his pitch. He has such good bat control that he knows that he can always get a good piece of a pitch. It's amazing, really. In 10 times at bat, he'll get good wood on the ball 8 or 9 times. Some guys are lucky to get good wood 3 out of 10. But underneath all that technique and methodology was a soul bent on being the best at what he loved, hitting a baseball. Boggs even said it himself. I felt that one day I'd be recognized for what I could do well. I was doing something I loved, and I was trying to be the best hitter in baseball, and the only way to do that was to win batting titles. Another thing that had contributed to Boggs' hitting notoriety is something you would not expect. Something really weird. In 1985, Boggs won the AL Batting Championship after missing out on it the previous year, and went on to win it 4 years in a row. But guess what else Boggs was doing differently in 1985? He was eating chicken, and lots of it. He said chicken was more convenient financially and diet-wise, and he noticed his numbers going up. He also said during that time, quote, "Then I noticed my batting average going up ever since I've been a chickentarian." He was so enthusiastic about his chicken diet that he'd even got a cookbook published. He called it Foul Tips, my favorite chicken recipes. But considering his day-to-day schedule, especially before games, his chicken obsession wasn't the weirdest thing about him. He liked to plan his schedule and finish activities in time intervals that ended with 7 because, to him, 7 symbolized perfection. His pregame routine included rather bizarre things like drawing the Hebrew letter chai in the dirt when he'd come to the plate, and repeat it depending on how he was doing. According to him, everything about his pregame and training routine was tailored to help him relax and concentrate. And to be fair, it really did pay off. If you enjoyed this video about how Wade Boggs conquered the MLB, check out the video on the screen now or the one we posted below because we're sure you'll like that one too. Let us know in the comments if there's another baseball player whose journey you'd like us to cover. See you there.